It's time for the Steve and Kyle podcast with Steve.
What better time to start the deconstruction, because you got to remove the old transmission.
Yeah.
So I pulled that old transmission out, leaked gear oil all over the shop out there.
That's what the shop's for, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Shop's for doing the dirty work.
And rock climbing.
And rock climbing.
And Kyle.
So currently, if you were to walk out to the shop, you would be greeted by an old, dirty transmission sitting right next to the door, because I just put it outside because I didn't want to look at it anymore.
And obviously I know, but for all the idiots out there who don't know like what a transmission looks like, is that a big thing?
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Oh, yeah.
A couple feet long. And
Stop asking me dumb questions, all you people online.
Now, here they are, two guys who are living in style, Steve and Kyle.
Happy New Year.
Is it New Year? Happy New Year.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve or
Yes.
New Year Eve?
No, New Year's Eve.
I hate to get into the minutia here already, but
What drives me nuts is when people say Happy New Year's.
Happy News Year?
That's what they say at the TV news stations.
And I got to tell you, and at the the last three people who are still employed at the newspaper, they laugh so heavily when they make that joke every year, and they're sitting there.
Happy News Year. I was talking to my friend Frank, good friend of this podcast.
Yep.
I was talking to him, speaking of
Former podcaster himself.
former podcaster and current. I don't really know. I'm not really sure what they're doing. But yeah, Frank and I were joking the other day about how when we met at Monmouth University 25 years ago, which is crazy to think.
My goodness.
Fast forward 25 years and we are both excelling in our fields, which are both quickly dying. Him in print journalism.
So he is a print journalist.
Well, I mean, most of the work that he does is digital, but it's for former, I guess, still current print publications.
Right. So it's like a monthly magazine printed on like the back of parchment.
Yeah.
And it's if you want the print version, it's now $9 a month.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, and you have to buy it from like a town crier in the town square.
I think the most amazing is that you two both decided on these fields when you were at, a collegiate level, stuck with them. Because I would argue both of you got into these fields before the tea leaves were out there saying, hey, these are not going to be, presumably, 100 years in the future, going to be around.
When I got into radio, it would have been 2000, 2001.
Hotbed.
I mean, Howard Stern was still massive. Opie and Anthony, like it was.
Terrestrial radio was a large factor in media. I would say up until, I don't know, 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
Yeah,
right around when I left. And
so you saw those tea leaves.
Well, not to toot my own horn here.
Do you see the tea leaves, or do you taste the tea? You see the tea leaves.
You
right?
see them, but are they normally hidden?
Oh, boy.
Why are we seeing the tea leaves or the writing on the wall? Because wouldn't you always see writing on the wall?
Right, but I mean, I think with that one, there wouldn't normally be writing. So if you saw the writing, you could be like, "Holy crap, that's different."
Well, but you're essentially, unless you're a buffoon, if you're walking into a room and you don't notice large writing on a wall, like what does that say about you? I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. You're not really special if you do see it. I guess
you should see it.
The main thing is that people who don't see it, really dumb.
Really dumb.
Really dumb.
I hate to toot my own horn here. And less so with the broadcasting medium, but with print journalism, boy, I was all over that one.
Yeah, were you?
2008, maybe 2009. As I was in college with a journalism major, and I said, "Oh, there's zero way this survives. This thing is on the way out." And that's when I added the broadcasting double major,
really doubled down on the
I
on the
thought-
bad decisions.
Well, you figure, if you can, everybody out there might have one worthless degree, but if you can double that,
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't add a third major of like blacksmithing.
yeah, I really wanted to incorporate chiseling onto tablets.
Right.
But unbelievably, I couldn't find someone to jump on board.
Grand Valley State didn't have a chiseling on tablets degree.
They did not. I would have had to go to Moses Online Education. Moses wasn't the one with the tablet. Don't answer that. I don't want. No, actually,
he
maybe we
was.
should.
Yeah,
maybe we should. Early in the year, get our religion part in.
Moses had the tablets, right?
But he didn't do
Maybe make that the actual poll.
Moses had the didn't he?
Moses had the tablets, right?
But he didn't do the chiseling, did he? Did he chisel? Was he told?
Who's to
and
say?
then did the chiseling?
And we have exhausted my knowledge of Moses.
Listening back to that intro, and I don't want to get even further sidetracked, but it reminds me, every time I walk in this house, I look at that beautiful, beautiful warehouse out there, and always have new ideas for you, which you've never taken me up on.
How do you know? You've never been out there.
No, that's true. Never gotten the invite.
I've invited you many times.
At this point, could you give me a little plowed path out there? I'd love to take a look. Can you pen me in for May?
Once the ground is dried out.
Ground is dried out, maybe some
We got a nice thaw.
survivable temperatures, so it's, not, bone-chillingly cold in the middle of this.
That thing is fully insulated.
No, I mean outside to get there, and it's still, no matter what, right? I mean, it's still going to be a little chilly. But I see that, and I always have ideas for you. You never take them up. But we heard on the intro there, last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, you'd taken a transmission out of one of the vehicles on the parking lot to Steve.
It's the Comanche. The Comanche has no transmission.
It's always the Comanche.
Yeah.
And that just makes sense. Like, you wouldn't be taking the transmission out of the daily driver for it.
No, that would not go
well.
a rough move.
But you said in that intro that you had thrown it out the door, essentially.
It's still sitting there.
So,
Just in a pile of snow.
That was my question.
Yeah, it hasn't gone anywhere. It's been out there for a month.
Because this is, in my mind...
Also available for purchase on Facebook Marketplace.
That was my next question. That's the most opportune
Well,
Steve's Facebook Marketplace sales pitch ever. Now,
let me tell you.
You're not in season.
We can do this now, but we might have to rearrange some stuff on the list here.
Let's bump it. I need. I don't want to cut a bunch of this other stuff, which is a little bit more timely related. But I want to know how the sales pitch for this ripped out, tossed in the snow, delicately placed in the snow transmission from a 1988 Jeep Comanche MJ
Pioneer.
Yeah, is doing on the open market in the winter season here in Michigan. I need to get to that.
Okay.
But we can't get too far from. I wanted to put it out in the ether, out in the world, Steve, for everybody out there, because last year, for the first time in this podcast history, you and I decided to do some New Year's resolutions. And we did a check-in, and I believe June or July about that.
Yeah.
And we did... no, that was it. That was it.
I think we only really referenced it once.
So I think we're going to do that again, probably next week. We're going to do the similar format where we give ourselves a New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
And that's why I was asking at the intro. Is it New Year's resolution or New Year resolution?
No, it's New Year's resolution. So it's your resolution for it's ownership. So the resolution belongs to the new year.
But wouldn't the resolution belong to you? So because we're saying Happy New Year.
Right.
Or it's New Year's Eve. But you're saying the resolution is New Year's resolution, not New Year resolution.
I think it could work either way. Like grammatically.
Yeah. I don't want to be the idiot.
I think we're getting lost in the weeds here.
Well, I don't want to be that idiot with daylight save. I did that 2 years ago on this podcast. I'm still holding my head in shame when we were having our biannual talk about daylight savings time.
Yeah.
There's no S.
Right. No.
I just included it.
I feel like that's a new thing, though.
Man, okay. I just feel like I'm walking around like an idiot. But what we want to incorporate this year for the New Year's resolutions is some listener ones where we can
Yes.
check in with you probably once, maybe twice throughout the year. Make sure you're on track. We can berate you over the phone. Make sure you get on track if you've sloughed off, because we don't tolerate that around here.
But, and if we find out that you have succeeded and you're fulfilling your New Year's resolutions, that's the last we talk to you. Because we don't want anything to do with success.
That's true, because then you're going to make us feel bad.
Exactly.
Because no doubt.
Like, oh, I wanted to read 12 books. I'm on book 15.
Yeah.
Click.
Yeah, and it's March. Okay, so you did that to make a goal you could achieve. And now I'm the king of low-hanging fruit. Okay? Big fan.
Right.
And I'll post it on the polls. Kyle, the king of low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. So one of your resolutions, I don't remember them, was it to like take garbage out once in 2024?
Let me see what it was. I still have the doc. And again, we're not answering these. I don't try not to. Now, I know you're a big gambler, so if you could get your poker face on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go through these New Year's resolutions for us that, again, we'll recap next week and then give our new ones. Steve?
Yeah.
Your New Year's resolution for yourself was to read 4 books. Mine was to be on my phone about 25 to 30% less of the time. Your resolution for me was to make a friend.
Just one.
And there were some caveats to that, too.
Yeah, like you had to exchange phone numbers, I think.
Schedule a play date, something like that. And then mine for you was to go to the gym 24 times a year or cancel. Steve's for the podcast was to post 1 reel or story every week for social media. And mine was to quit. Again, don't give away anything that happened.
No spoilers.
But that's the format we did last year. We're going to do that again next week. But we want some listener contributions, so we can call you next weekend and ask you about why this has come up and what we can do to hold you accountable throughout the year and when we can check in with you. So if you have a good one, whether it be serious or I don't want like a full joke one, but I also don't want one like, I'm on the doorstep of a lifelong rehab because I can't kick my methamphetamine habit. That is better left for a professional.
Yes.
And not the Steve and Kyle podcast. I don't, I'd say we're equipped to handle it, Steve. I'm just saying that I don't think we should.
I don't know if I would say that I'm equipped to handle any of that.
What do you mean? You don't think we could talk someone out of
I think
their methamphetamine?
People have to go to school for that stuff.
I've seen a lot of A&E's intervention.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty much a how-to.
And so we're going to start it all with I statements. And we're going to get this person off the methamphetamine ledge.
Okay.
Next week. But please, I posted something on social media the other day. You can check that out, or you can just message us or post anywhere on our Facebook page, Twitter page, or Instagram page at Steve and Kyle with your New Year's resolution, or you can DM us. That's obviously that's preferable for us because it's more
easy to get to.
It's easy to get to, and I'll remember where it is, and we can respond, and I can get some contact info if we want to call you here next week to hold you accountable. Have you been thinking about them at all, Steve? New Year's resolutions? Does Annette sit there and go, what are you going to do to make yourself better this year? Do your kids say, Dad, what are you going to do to make better for all of us this year?
My kids know. They did not ask me any of that.
I'd like to get Evelyn in on the resolutions.
Okay.
But really, hold your feet to the fire.
We could bring her in. For maybe you could record you asking Reed what his New Year's resolution is, too.
Boy, I hope you like fart jokes.
And we could play it back.
I'll do that. I'll do that this week.
A year from now, we'll really, again, hold his feet to the fire and see, did you exceed your fart joke allowance for the year?
Did you, in fact, poop on the dog's head 8 times?
I want to hear Reed's, because he's 16?
Yep.
16.
Yep. So getting that license here very soon. I don't know.
Annette and I did talk New Year, not really like, what's your New Year's resolution? But we ended up, we went out for dinner on New Year's Eve.
I saw a photo. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I couldn't believe my own eyes.
We went out for dinner at 5:30 on New Year's Eve.
Well, that's just good planning.
It was good planning. It was also last minute planning. So we could eat dinner at 5:30 or like 2 a.m. the next day.
I don't know if 5:30 is 5:30 considered an early dinner now.
I think so. I think that's a pretty early. Man. Well, I think especially for a New Year's Eve. So yeah, it was like the week before, and that was like, hey, the kids are going to be at my in-laws' house for a few days. Do you want to go out for dinner on New Year's Eve? And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. We can do that. Sure. So she looked at a couple different restaurants, finally found a place, and the one place that we found, it was 5:30 or nothing.
I gotta tell you, to me, that seems like a primo time slot.
But if you're looking to stay up till midnight, it's a terrible time slot.
A 5:30 dinner for a estimated 1 a.m. bedtime. I mean, you got to be time slotting snackies, right?
I will tell you that at no point did we even acknowledge the slight possibility of staying up until midnight. So what we did, she booked the hotel, or she booked the dinner, and I was like, "Oh, we got no kids. Let's get a hotel room downtown. Let's go all out." Got a hotel room.
You did? Wow.
So we get to the hotel. We checked in at like 4:00. We both got ready, called an Uber, Ubered over to the place where we were going to eat.
A New Year's Eve Uber.
New Year's Eve Uber.
I'm guessing that was like $6-8.
I think it was 11.
That's it?
Yeah. We easily could have walked, but it was snowing pretty hard, so we were like,
but you're out in the town.
Exactly. We're fancy. I was wearing a suit.
Yeah. And so at 5:30, you're no doubt seeing all the construction workers who are just getting off their day labor job down there who
Sure.
are also coming in for dinner.
Yeah.
They just got done government work about 5 p.m. and you're sitting there in a suit. And this guy plops down his hard hat next to you.
Yeah. It's like you were there. So we get to the restaurant. We do. Now this was, it was one of those things where they had like if you wanted to, you could order off their New Year's Eve special menu.
Okay. So that's going to be all their maybe themed items or specialty items are going to have, probably your upcharge because they've only got enough food for one day for these items.
Yeah. Well, you had basically a choice between two different things, but it was a 5-course meal. So you get your appetizer 1, appetizer 2, appetizer 3, then your entree, then your dessert.
Are you able to eat like a 5-course meal?
I ate a 5-course meal.
You did?
And granted, the portions weren't massive.
I would argue that most of those places will portion it smaller or appropriately for
they
them.
were very, very appropriately portioned. But a 5-course meal takes quite a while. We were there until 7:30 and finished up that meal. And then the place we were at, we were like, oh, there's a really nice bar downstairs. Let's go down there. We'll grab a drink, and then we'll kind of figure out what our plan is moving forward.
How long does a 5-course meal take? Because you're talking to a guy who a 5-course meal would be to order 5 different times at Wendy's.
It was a good 2 hours.
Man, I'm getting antsy after 60 minutes.
So
I respect you being able to sit for 120.
And you know something? It was so nice to just sit there with my wife, have conversation, talk about things, laugh about things. But that's when we had what's not necessarily the New Year's Eve and what's your resolution, but a lot of good talks about all right, this year it would be really cool if we could do this, this, and this. This year it would be great if we could save money towards this because we want to, buy a car in a couple of years or whatever. Just kind of mentally preparing for it. So that was about the most.
Does she know that car is, one of, you're probably another dream car, maybe a second Comanche? She's probably thinking another daily driver or whatever.
Oh, no.
And then she's going to be stunned.
Honey, I bought a car.
Come on out and see this thing. It's an 89.
My next car that doesn't arrive on the bed of a flatbed will be my first car. It doesn't arrive on the bed of a flatbed.
I gotta tell you, you have probably outkicked lifetime flatbed car delivery by an infinite percentage if you think of it that way.
1, 2.
So you've got the murder Jeep, the hail damage, the Comanche. Those are the 3 I know off the top of my head.
Yeah. I wasn't even thinking about it. I'm at 6. I mean, easily it's 6.
Is 6 automobile deliveries on flatbeds too many? I mean, I'll let the internet decide. I think. Listen, obviously, the data is on your side in that. Mm-hmm. You've profited money from them, and you have turned these vehicles into functioning. Yes. So, what I say means nothing in the scheme of things. Yeah. But I would argue you have
I'm the pro here. This guy's the expert.
I would argue in the scheme of things, again, you have surpassed. I would put you in the top 10th of the top 1 percentile in terms of people getting automobiles delivered on a flatbed. So congratulations, man.
Can't be said enough. Thank you very much.
Okay, so you guys are talking about, hey, big not necessarily big plans, but like, what would you like to do for the?
Gotcha. A lot of I don't know. On New Year's Eve, I feel very nostalgic too. Plus, we had a drink or two, so it's like, oh man, what was the best part of 2024 for you?
Like Crown and 7-Up for you?
No, I did. I forget what it was. Some kind of
like a bull drop spritz or something for like $16.
It was something that was entirely too expensive, but it's New Year's Eve. I'm out with just my wife.
Yeah. I'm onto them, by the way. All those fake drinks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like a Seagram's, daiquiri from the bottle, and they're dumping it into a wine glass and putting a 25 in it, and they're calling it a New Year's drink.
So we have our great conversation.
Screaming over the music and ambiance of a bar or restaurant.
It wasn't. It wasn't. It was. I mean, not loud. It was typical restaurant.
Okay.
But
I should tell you, I haven't been out in like 6 years.
There was one thing that made us both feel so old.
Yeah.
It was so dark in the restaurant.
Oh no!
I almost took out.
Don't tell me. No. Did you bring it? You did not pull out your phone flashlight to look at the menu, did you?
No. But I resisted that urge.
Did you like casually tuck it in the back of your pants and carry it into the bathroom where it's well lit?
I'd be lying if I said I didn't shift my menu one way because there was a little bit of ambient light coming from this way and not so much that way.
Already an upset that they had a paper menu.
Yeah. Oh, this is
and not a QR code.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this was full on. Okay. Full on menu, and it was great. Bust
out your glasses and pull it down.
I'll get those glasses with the little reading light built in. Dude, I don't think I'm that far.
Apologies. No more interruptions. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. So we left this restaurant, again, 7:30 probably.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, all right, let's, because it's in a hotel. So we're like, all right, well, there's that really nice bar in the hotel. This is the bar. I don't know if you'll remember the story of my wedding night, but after we had shut down all the bars in town, my wife and I were walking back through the hotel lobby to go back to our room. And we walked past this one bar, and Annette said, let's have one more drink. I'm like, all right, sounds good. Just the two of us. Our wedding night would have been perfect. So we go up to the bar. It's like, hey, can I get a couple drinks? And the bartender says, I am so sorry, but we're
out of alcohol?
No, it was last call, and I can't serve you. And my now wife, who had been my wife for approximately 6 hours and had drank her weight in alcohol at our reception, goes, this place sucks.
Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
That's so lame. This place sucks.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
And starts walking away. And
party Annette.
And I'm left to just look at the bartender. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Like a Diet Cola or anything I could have for the walk?
So we're walking through the lobby, again, on our wedding night. And all of a sudden, from behind us, we hear, wait. And I turn around, and the bartender's running to catch up with us.
A bottle of champagne, splashing out of his hand.
Just as we're hitting the button for the elevator. This bartender pops his head into the elevator, and he says, I just talked to my boss. I can't serve you at the bar, but we're happy to send you 2 drinks. We're going to comp them and send them up to your room. What do you want? And I said, oh, that's amazing. I would love a Crown and Sprite.
Yep.
And Annette ordered what whatever she was going to get.
Ultra or something. Like really taking advantage of the situation. You got any Pabst?
And we said, thank you so much. That was so nice of you to do. Doors close. And then we realized we didn't tell them what room we were in. And you won't believe it. The drinks never showed up.
Oh, I figured you might go door knocking. Or Annette would go door knocking.
Oh,
and hey, did you get a Pabst Blue Ribbon here about 10 minutes ago?
It's for me, the bride.
That other sissy drink's for my husband.
So fast forward about 7 years and 6 weeks.
Yep. 5:30 dinner's long gone.
5:30
It's now
dinner's
probably
7:30. We're walking through the lobby. We're passing this bar, and it's packed. And there's a lot of people out pre-gaming for the big ball drop coming up in 4.5 hours. We didn't even stop. We just kept walking right past it. We both looked at each other and just said, nah, I don't think we're going to go there.
a stark change.
So we walk through there, and then there's like this one area where it is super packed.
Yeah.
And there's people coming and going. There's like 2 restaurants that are right there. So people are waiting in line to go in to eat their meals at normal times, not at 5:30.
I gotta tell you, I am a big fan of the 5:30 meal.
I loved it. And then, so we were like, all right, let's kind of sit down and figure out what our next plan is. So we sit down, and for 10 minutes, I people watched as these 2 young women who looked like they were probably in their mid-20s, early to mid-20s, took selfie after selfie after selfie, because the lobby of this building, it's old. So it's very ornate, and there's like, chandeliers and archways and everything. It's really, really nice. It's architecturally, it's beautiful. And they were taking pictures of everything, and them smiling and posing and doing their, oh, here, you take one of me and make me look casual. Ha ha ha. And after 15 minutes or so, we were like, all right, let's head outside and start making our way back over towards the hotel. And we're gonna, because there was another bar that I like to go to, and we were crossing the street, witnessed a car accident happen right behind us, which was cool. Witnessed a man, for no reason, just sitting in his parked car, revving the engine like as loud as it'll possibly go. And then we walked right back to the hotel, got in the elevator, went upstairs, got and turned on reruns of The Office.
So this
Annette was asleep by 9:15.
9:15. Oh man, that is such exquisite execution for a night on the town. For me, that's the version of a night on the town where that's my last night on the town. Once I'm walking through, I'm sitting down at my 5:30 dinner, and I realize I'm now the early one. Well, and I'm like insinuating to the waiter, "Can you turn the music down a touch?
Can we get some lights in here?
Yeah, and is it always this dark? And when did prices get so high?"
Oh, I don't. You'd throw up. You would actually throw up in your hands if I told you what the cost was, what the total bill was
for your dinner. 2 5-course meals.
2 5-course meals.
Couple specialty beverages.
I think we had, between the two of us, 3 drinks.
Okay. At a decent restaurant, nice restaurant.
It's a nice restaurant.
And the city, downtown. I'm going to be so out of touch here.
$49.99.
Yeah, was that on the back of the menu like a twofer?
They take coupons?
Was it the late night specials, or let me put a rough guess before tip.
Okay. Well, give me all in.
All in, drinks, 5-course for 2 plus a tip. $210. Is that?
I would have loved to pay $210.
I'm low.
You're
okay.
So low.
And I really did not try to undercut it. I really put my brain to it in my head. I was like, okay, maybe it's 75 and 75, the 3, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm out of touch. Again, my 5-course meal would be going through the drive-thru at Wendy's.
Yeah.
5 times in a row and ordering different versions of their
food.
food.
Let me get another Dave single.
That's right. Sir, you had that. I know what I had last time.
You ain't the boss of me. It's
New
New Year's Eve.
You gonna make that square patty? I'm gonna have to come in there and get it. So what did I say? 210?
210.
210's low. I mean, is 280 too low?
I mean, you're getting closer.
Oh God. 350.
You're still heading in the right direction.
Holy sh**. $440.
Too high.
Oh my God. Woo-hoo. So you were out the door for in the fours.
$388.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now this isn't a regular occurrence, obviously, but still. Does that leave a little ding on your soul even today?
You know what hurts? For some reason, I've started breaking things down
by unit.
If this was a monthly subscription, if that dinner was a monthly subscription, I'm paying $35 a month
for a year
for the next year.
So if you laid away
maybe $30 a month.
If you laid away your 5-course meal starting today.
Yeah, I have to stop there once a month after I get out of work to make my monthly payment.
So you need to go in the 30th of this month because obviously you have to pick up on the 31st at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And drop off your $30 in cash to prepare to lock in your rate.
Payments due the last day of the month, and if you don't pay it off, you owe the interest on the full loan.
To drop your $30 off, to lock in your rate for $12.31.25, so you can go have another 5-courser.
It's I didn't expect to talk about that, but that one's gonna sting.
Man.
Hey folks, viewer mail time again. Oh, here's one from Sally, age 14. Dear Pig.
That's a stack we got there.
It's been brewing.
All right. Some of this has been here for like 3 weeks oh boy.
Hand over a pile to Steve. There's just too much to get through mail-wise. I'm going to go ahead and open the important business first here from our friend Billy Stacks, and I believe actually we've either delayed on the
one from
PO
Billy
box
Stacks too.
or Billy.
Did he send it? Oh. That's a good 90%er.
It is, and boy, that makes me think, that low-hanging fruit discussion we had, is this the New Year's resolution? Kyle opens a piece of mail properly.
So, yeah, two things from Billy Stacks. Yeah. Not sure if, we're just that far behind, or did he send us a Christmas bonus, perhaps?
Pass off the letter opener to you. Get that first piece of business from Billy Stacks out of the way here. And as always, the P.O. Box. If you'd like to send us anything, whether it's candy or a letter or stickers, whatever it may be, can be found in the show notes, or you can just message us on any social media at Steve and Kyle. This is, just on-time payment. This appears to be the January payment from Billy Stacks. Thank you for your listenership.
Mm-hmm. I've had this since December 3rd. Apologies.
Yeah, January 3rd.
Apologies, Billy Stacks, but thank you very much for your contribution.
Well, they're necessary because we've been spending on the 3D printer nonsense, and the coffers need some replenishing, so our thanks to Billy Stacks for coming through in the clutch.
All right.
Now this is, I'll open this while you want to get that one ready. I'll open this. This is from, I believe it's Lance Cottrell.
Oh, okay.
Or Adam Cottrell. I'm sorry. Adam Cottrell. It just says Cottrell on the envelope. I'm guessing I shouldn't do that. To Steve and Kyle at the P.O. Box. Now this is one of those padded envelopes, Steve.
Oh, boy.
And there's a little something in there. Let me see. Oh, I believe something similar was sent to a lucky recipient in the Steve and Kyle podcast Winter Solstice gift exchange.
What do we got?
Adam forgot to include a letter, which a lot of people do. These look to be some ornaments, Steve. Some wooden burned or...
Oh, yeah. These are like laser made. The Steve and Kyle podcast. Mine, a beautiful picture of an amazing covered bridge.
And mine over here in my hand is just a stupendously engineered, architectured suspension bridge.
Oh, that's beautiful. And of course, I can only assume that this is the Eddie Fitz.
Yeah, and the only thing missing from that Eddie Fitz picture is it looks like the orientation is a little bit out of line. That's supposed to be vertical.
And broken in half.
And broken. I'm assuming it went down like the Titanic. I don't have any evidence of that. Thank you to our good friend Adam Cottrell. Those are delightful. Is that wood burning, Steve? Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's probably a laser.
Do we need a laser machine in here now?
Oh, absolutely.
To add to our stuff?
Well, we got a lasersman.
We do have a lasersman, that's right. Makes hats, makes woodworking items.
All right, now this does not say who it's from. Looks like there's something else in there.
It's just a standard black bag. Looks to be some styrofoam holding something together. So I'm assuming this is a precious treasure that couldn't be damaged in transit. And that's why it's secured in between these two pieces of foam.
It really is here.
Oh, boy. We do need some scissors in here, don't we?
Yeah.
Scissors would be nice for some occasions.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, we need to go back into the archives and see who sent us this letter opener we've been using for 5 to 7 years. Can you give that a jab at all?
It's not sharp enough.
Man. That is, while Steve does that, I will go ahead and get to opening this delightful piece of mail that I don't even know how to explain. This is a crudely wrapped brown paper bag that looks to be what you would send a kid in the 1980s to school with their sack lunch in. It has been wrapped by what appears to be blue painter's tape. To say wrapped in blue painter's tape haphazardly would be generous, because over the middle it has orange tape. What type of tape is the orange tape? Do you know?
Is that like gaffer's tape?
Man, I have no idea. So 2 types of tape holding this brown paper lunch bag together.
That looks like something that the Unabomber sent.
Now, where did this come?
Ah, boy, somebody sent a message, because that's exactly what I replied to them. They had sent a message a couple weeks ago saying, hey, did you get the package that I sent?
Yeah.
And I said, was it the one that looks like it was sent by the Unabomber?
Ted Kaczynski? Yeah.
And they said yes.
Okay, good. So somehow this came in the mail?
I don't know.
There's no okay, that's fine. We'll get to it. I just want, if people hear noise, that's me starting to get it unwrapped.
Okay. Now this is a beautiful, beautiful treasure that is immediately going to go up here in the studio.
We got another wall piece?
We do have another piece of wall art.
Love it.
The ill-fated Eddie Fitz.
Oh, I mean, much like the Mackinac Bridge canvas we have here, you know my thoughts, Steve. I feel like we need to hang that vertically
upside down, or just hang it kind of crooked.
It is a beautiful rendering.
It's not an attractive boat at all.
No. And but to be fair, I don't think those boats were meant to be.
It wasn't a cruise ship.
Good to look at, right? Like you don't see Icon of the Seas Eddie Fitz, like roller coasters and slides, and hey, here's a wave park. They have the real life wave park, and it's at the bottom of Superior.
All right, I'm going to try and go back and find out who sent this.
Oh, yeah, didn't say in the black bag down there? Oh, this you mean? The brown.
No, but I don't know who sent the Eddie Fitz.
Okay, this is, again, the Unabomber package sent in a brown paper lunch sack that you would send a kid. Did you bring these to your...
Yeah.
These are gone now, right? Like, these don't get used anymore. Everything's reusable. It's like
a
fabric lunchbox with containers and no more brown lunch sack. And that's a shame.
Yeah.
Really like those landfills getting filled up with these.
Amen.
Okay, we're just going to rip it because I've already put more care into this than the person who sent it. It's heavily wrapped.
Imagine it's just nothing.
Heavily wrapped. What the hell? If you can see how much brown paper I've... Okay, these... Oh,
Jesus.
One's on the ground.
Did it break?
I don't think so. Let me take a double check. Oh, well, these are beautiful. These
what?
Are 3D printed, Steve.
Oh, I love it.
That is your and I's beautiful mugs adorning a plastic with a hook so you can use it as an ornament.
It's a Christmas ornament.
I'm using this as an ornament. This is delightful.
Oh, I think I'm going to put this in my car around the rearview mirror.
So you're going to have to take down your 7 black vanilla ice air fresheners.
Yeah, and my ladies' thongs.
And
that was the thing when you first got your driver's license, right? People guys would have, the guys would have like underwear around their rear view mirror or a garter belt.
There is a smaller one. Boy, I'll post it on the poll. I was going to say high school lanyard. Was it a thing to hang ladies' underwear from the rear view?
Man, this came out really nice.
Yes. Now, Steve, you and I are printersmen in our own right.
Yeah, I noticed he did. He didn't do a face down print.
He did the face up print.
Did the face up,
and no ironing on that, in case you're looking for the lingo. But you and I have already struggled with how to do this ourselves.
Oh, so much.
But look at that fill; it fills all the way through. That is those are delightful. We'll post a picture of all of these gifts that have been sent to us.
Oh no, there's some infill there.
Well, I'm not saying infill, but normally you'd see just the pictures of us would be just the top layer.
Yeah.
But not this. This goes all the way through. That's delightful. So thanks to Ted Kaczynski for sending that to us from the grave. He's dead, right? Did we lose him? Did we lose Ted?
R.I.P. Yes, I believe we did.
Boy, can we say R.I.P. Ted? I'll post that on the poll. No other context. Can we say R.I.P. Ted? And then hopefully trick a lot of people who, in a few days, try to go back and switch their vote once we realize we're talking about the Unabomber.
Yeah.
And I do believe was there one more box down there, Steve? Did you have the opener?
There's a big box.
A large box. So I will do our best to give proper thanks, and if not, thank you very much to anybody who ever sends us anything.
Now this is from Derek Zimmerman. Oh, Stephen Kyle podcast. Mitch.
Mitch Mankiewicz.
Yeah. Let's see. This is a big box.
This
one was, I went to the post office to check the P.O. box, and I had the little slip of paper in the P.O. box that said, please come to the front desk because the package that we have for you is just too big.
I feel like we need to send that to both our friend Trevor and Dixon/Burns and the Unabomber Ted Kaczynski, who's to realize how to package things.
All right. So what do we got here?
There a letter in there? You want me to read the letter while you...
There's not. There's a packing slip.
Oh, packing slip. Okay.
Oh, boy. These look...
Ooh.
Middlesworth.
Okay.
Oh, barbecue-flavored potato chips. Now, the brand is Middlesworth?
This looks to be what we talked about when we were talking about the gift exchange, about how people use some of their local items. I would assume Middlesworth potato chips is a local delight.
I love the graphics. It is giving off some serious Lucky Billy vibes.
It is.
Because there's a starburst at the top that says, "Look! Resealable pouch." So here, I'm going to pass you some barbecue flavored chips.
And I got to tell you, what's my favorite flavored potato chip?
Barbecue.
It's a barbecue.
These we have, I'm assuming that these are a standard, just like your standard chip flavor. And then this has got, I was going to say, with this color
sour cream and onion, right?
It's got to be sour cream and onion.
Man, well this,
boy, nobody's more proud of the fact that they're artificially flavored.
Yeah, you usually want to minimize that. But look at the barbecue.
Yeah.
Not artificially flavored.
Okay.
Actually flavored. So they went out, slathered a bunch of barbecue on potatoes.
That's a good sound.
Bob Middlesworth founded Middlesworth & Son back in 1942. Started making potato chips with just one kettle. Bob worked in a 2-room building in Beavertown, PA. That is one crunchy chip.
I gotta say, I'm a fan. Okay, what do we got there? Is that barbecue?
This is the barbecue flavor, not artificially flavored.
Can I hand you a...
Yeah, please do. Let's do a little potato chip swap here. One of them. Oh, that's a nice size.
It's a spud swap.
Nobody eats like that. Lips open to make sure the sound... Now, I don't know if I've damaged my palate by going sour cream and onion before barbecue. I'm very excited for that barbecue. I love the coloring on it.
Yeah.
Bob would be proud. Bob Middlesworth.
Yeah, of course.
Started in
Bobby
1942.
Mid.
Single kettle. Now, that's a nice barbecue. Let me describe that barbecue, Steve.
Please do.
It's a little smoky. And it's not too prevalent. It's not leaving that bright red dust you see on some chips. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have the heat, which is fine for a barbecue.
Yeah.
That's a nice soft barbecue flavor with enough rich taste at the end to really fulfill you as to really fulfill me as a barbecue chipsman, because that is well, that is
fantastic.
Boy, and let me tell you, there's a lot of saturated fat in those, Steve. Middlesworth. There's an A in our name and a quality in our product that will put a smile on your face with every bite.
Boy, this is... Thank you, Mitch.
Man, that is a delight. Always love getting food around here. Boy. Beautiful. Thank you, Mitch. Mankiewicz. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to Kaczynski. Thank you to Adam Cottrell, who sent the wood-burned ornaments. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. And whoever sent those... The
Eddie Fitz. The Eddie Fitz.
Yeah, we will do our due diligence and find out, and we'll post a picture of all this stuff on social media at Steve and Kyle. But Steve, anytime I see something that you've added to our list of ideas or things that we can talk about, I get a little giddy.
Yeah,
and I think that might be the case with anybody, because the things that I want to talk about or that I can talk about have happened. Like, to me, I know them, so they're not as exciting, right? Like, I think they're good stories. They're worthwhile discussion. I like to get your thoughts on a lot of those things. Yeah. That's why I write them down. But when I see something for you, and I see something with you mentioning your wife, because as we talked about in this podcast, not really jokingly, Annette is the living form of blunt force trauma. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Right? I don't want you to take that in a bad way or her to think that's in a bad way. But hard not to think about it now that I say it out loud. I mean, we've detailed...
Okay, replace me with her. Would you have still said that?
No. So I guess I'm like she doesn't listen. But we talked about in this podcast, and I'm sure she would also readily admit, like, yeah, I'm not here. I'm not going to sugarcoat items.
She does not sugarcoat, but she's also not out there hurling insults like, hey, you're looking fat today, fatty.
She's not Don Rickles. There's a massive difference between somebody who isn't there to guard your feelings or whatever else in the face of the truth, compared to being like, hey, bald head, where'd it go? You know what I mean? Like, there's obviously a large difference there. Right, so that's, in hindsight, I could have made a more nuanced reference than a standard cause of death for a lot of people who fall from buildings.
Disagree. I think it was perfect.
But when I see something on the list that mentions that, I get intrigued. Okay? Because the majority of Annette's life to me is still a mystery, outside of finding out years later that she was on a road crew.
She did. She worked for the road commission
and lived in Iowa for a period. Like, it's fascinating stuff like that I get that way with just people in general. I love finding these things out after I know them. Like, oh, really? Now I need to know every single detail about those things.
Okay. Do you have a list? Maybe I could do like a book report for you. Or like one better page. Yet, you could do your own book report on Annette.
Oh, right. Like, what do I know about Annette?
And then we meet back here next week, and maybe you teach me a thing or two about her.
Annette met Steve. You know what? That's not a bad idea. We'll get to that right after we do the dress shopping. So I'm curious, Steve, what has happened? Because when I see Steve obsession, that could mean one of a dozen items. If I had to ask you, though, how many, and I'm going to put it in air quotes, obsessions you have today.
How many would you say, being realistic and like semi-serious? Like, what are the things that you're thinking about that you like doing that you're good at? Because I think obsession's got negative connotations.
It's a rough. Yeah, I mean, interests. I would say, I don't know, I probably got a handful of interests. Working on the Comanche, just building things in general. I'm really into the whole 3D printing thing now. I really like that.
Can I ask you then, when I see on the document here that Annette is kind of on board with a classic Steve obsession, do you think this is going to shock me? Or surprise me, I should say.
I don't think so. I mean, this is not earth-shattering, jaw-dropping stuff.
If you were to give me, say, 4 or 5 options, do you think I'd be able to pick out the one that she may have jumped on? You think so? Okay.
I think so.
Well, then we don't need to do it that way. I am curious, as always, when these come up. 1, how did this come up? 2, were you taken aback? And 3, what is the item? And I put those in a proper order because I care less about the actual item than how does this come up in the day-to-day where you find out, like, really? You want to go out and look at the transmission that's on the side of the warehouse?
Well, I can, spoiler alert, it's not that, and it will never be that.
How does something like this come up? It's 2 married folk in their early 30s discussing day-to-day life, 2 kids rolling around here, and then she, hey, I forgot to tell you, I also really like jet skis. You know what I mean?
It happened innocently enough. It was just, I think one day she was just like, hey, can you show me how to do this or like give me a couple pointers?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're ruling out like 1990s baseball cards, which I don't know if you were into. I'm just saying that era, it seemed like everybody had baseball or, some type of cards. So we're ruling that out. Okay. All right. She came to you.
She came to me.
Bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I think it might have been due to a lack of action on my part.
Okay. So you don't think
it may have been I think I just need to do this myself because...
So maybe something that she wanted done, maybe expected to be done. And you had probably kept telling me, because I know you well enough to know that it's not out of your mind.
Yeah.
I know, but priorities shuffle.
Sure.
Things you're focusing on shuffle around in the order. So maybe you just got pushed back in the line for a while.
Exactly. We've been busy.
Now, do you think, before even knowing what this is, do you think you were a last gasp? Do you think YouTube was investigated for this? Do you think
I don't.
The internet was? Okay.
No, my wife is very easily overwhelmed with the internet. Okay. She does not.
It's a shocking statement for a 30-something.
I know. I'm not even kidding.
I just imagine her seeing like an iPhone, whatever number they're on now. No. What do you mean? A voicemail that translates it to text? No.
She gets overwhelmed very easily with stuff like that. So there's a lot of times where I just have to be like, just have your phone now.
I'll download the song.
I'll log you into the account.
I'll get you the Sabrina Carpenter album. Okay. So she had to come to you. Now that's a hat in hand moment because I would say Annette probably doesn't do that very often.
Yeah, but it wasn't really. It wasn't anything that she should be like, hey, I don't know how to do this. It was just hey, can you give me like, how would you do this?
Yeah. She wasn't somberly like showing you the hole in the wall she created by accident as she was trying to repair, a picture nail. It was something else. Okay. Now, how did you respond? Because this is a big tell.
Oh, I was excited.
Okay. Excited's good because the other option would be like, I'm glad you asked. I happen to know a thing or two about XYZ, and let me put your arm around like a work buddy. Why don't you walk with me out to the warehouse and let me give you a little rundown?
I can't rule out that I didn't say something like, you want to step into my dojo, huh?
If you texted Annette right now and said, did I sound dumb or like a jerk or whatever,
when you brought up this topic. Do you think she might a little bit?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No. We have a good enough relationship where
Sure.
even if I did, I don't think she would have taken it seriously.
But you also have a good enough relationship that if you did, she would tell you now.
Yeah.
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 And that's what I mean by, blunt force trauma. She was, if you asked her, hey, did I come off like a smarmy butthead? She'd say, oh, yeah. Yeah, I was going to tell you about it anyway. I'm glad you brought it up. Okay, so what is this mystery item? Not even mystery item. Mystery obsession of yours that Annette had to come to Sensei Steve's dojo to get the lowdown on.
Annette is now 100% into marketplace sales.
Oh, my. And now she did step into the dojo.
She did step into the dojo.
So
She's dealing with Sam.
And she ain't no rat. Not yet.
Yeah. So I had told you a while back that we had bought those Amazon mystery boxes.
I thought that was the spark.
It was kind of the spark because we bought them. I think we opened them all up, saw how much garbage we had.
And profit.
And we were so overwhelmed that we just kind of closed them and
moved on.
Pushed them into a corner for a couple of months.
Okay.
And then I think she finally decided, like, all right, well, I'm tired of waiting for him to post all this stuff.
So was there so this is all you're talking about from the mystery box. Gotcha.
Yeah. So we sat down, I posted a bunch of stuff, she posted a bunch of stuff, and she was like, oh, what would you post here? What would you say here? And
buzzwords and
by the way, she's pricing stuff way too low.
Oh,
way too low.
Oh,
way too low.
But it's that thrill of the sale.
But exactly, I'd rather sell it today for $5 than wait a month and a half to make $10.
Right.
So,
which is the opposite that you traded the Jeep with?
Yes.
The murder Jeep.
Yes.
Held on to for a long time to get that sale.
Way too long. Way too long.
But like you said, I'm not bringing up old wounds. I'm just saying. Also, there were no offers early. Okay. It's not like I had people banging down the door. You weren't turning down cash in hand offers.
No. Okay. I was just waiting. Waiting for offer one and then grabbing onto it.
Understood.
So I think that...
So she handled most of the mystery palette sales on Facebook.
I did a bunch of them. She did. I would say we split them up pretty evenly.
Okay, because you had to explain the Bluetooth car theft things, right?
Boy, those things made a payday for us.
They made you profit from the mystery boxes.
Yes.
Right? Like those alone, because again, the 2023 planners weren't going to do it.
And the Eclipse goggles.
The Eclipse goggles. Which again,
2 months after the Eclipse.
Weren't also going to do it. So the Bluetooth car theft devices were what brought you guys into the black. Yes. Okay. So what was left that she decided to dip her toes in?
Oh, it's such garbage. There were just bags of bows. There were bags of, if you go to the store and you get paper plates for your autumn celebration and they have wheat on them and just all this garbage. Napkins for a 40th birthday party, which is very specific.
And also $2 at party whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of it she just gave away.
Yep. Okay.
But she's getting pretty into it. She'll be like, oh, I posted 4 things last night. I got 2 people coming today. I got this. We made $48 this week, blah, blah, blah. So, as part of our New Year's Eve celebration, when we were talking about our goals for 2025, we decided to keep track of every Facebook Marketplace sale for the year. In a spreadsheet, of course.
Of course, you need Google Sheets advice. That's my thing, by the way. Big Google Sheetsman.
Ours is very simple. 3 columns.
Let's do the calculations for you.
Date. Item. Amount. That's all I care about. I don't care who it's going to.
Well, I mean, you got to get return on investment. So you're going to need another column to get initial cost of item. And then you're going to need carrying costs. So we're going to do an estimated depreciation value.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Send me the sheet. I'll update it for you guys so you don't
We don't need an 8th grader spreadsheet. We need a grown-up spreadsheet, okay?
So I know that this is elementary stuff, but I present to you our very complex 2025 Facebook Marketplace sales spreadsheet. And if you notice down here, we are just 4 days into this year. And we've already made, you want to read it?
You made $54,
$54.
Steve. This, I got to tell you, I'm on board. I love this.
All right. You want to jump in on the spreadsheet?
You wait. I don't know what you have left in the house or what you guys have done with it
so
or
much
not.
garbage. I'm going to sell everything.
Well, you're just going to go outside of that transmission.
You're going to pull up and like the driveway, a slab of concrete from the driveway is going to be missing.
Turn out I didn't need it.
Got to sell it.
But when she gets a hold of the baby and kid items,
oh my God,
that spreadsheet's going to need
they're going like hotcakes.
Another 200
rain boots. Rain boots sold just this morning. $10. $10.
Steve, I got 2 pairs of rain boots at home.
That's $20.
He doesn't need rain boots.
That rain boots going out on the front porch this morning. Very much the impetus. Is that like, what does impetus mean? Probably
like the cause. Like it's what's driving you to do something.
Very much the impetus of Nikki's complete meltdown today.
Well, you decided to get rid of one of his things, right? Is that how it went with the child?
Yeah, he's not normally a very
possessive,
nostalgic person. That's definitely Evelyn. You take something out that she hasn't seen in 5 years, and she'll be like, "That was my favorite." Blah blah blah.
You watch that spreadsheet explode. When I'm thinking, you realize, like, done with cribs, you're done with changing tables, all of that stuff.
I know.
The way that's going to...
So close.
So currently, right now, the spreadsheet and that tracking is for items that you have around that you no longer need. Is there a plan in place for the slush fund? Is it... Because I have thoughts. I have ideas for you.
Okay. Present them, please.
I mean, it's really one idea, and it's drive back down to that little town of nowhere and get ourselves another pallet. By my accounts, that's about 1.26 mystery boxes worth of sales.
I mean, if you really want to get into it, this year so far, New Year's Day, sold a circular saw fence for $8. So sold some bows for $3.
Okay.
Sold a koozie for $3.
Oh boy, koozie for $3? People are really?
I know. And this guy, he tortured my poor wife with like 15 questions about it.
Oh no!
And you could tell he was an old guy because we just said, "All right, we'll leave it on the front porch. Just leave the money under the doormat." And he left the money in an envelope that said "thank you" on the front of it, and it was sealed. And then inside there were 2 $1 bills and a Sacagawea coin.
Okay. This feels like the first lesson for Annette's Facebook Marketplace sales.
No Sacagawea coins.
Apparently on the bottom, you see on these posts a lot of them like whatever lingo and words used like POOS or...
Oh, yeah. Posted on other sites.
Is that what that means?
That's what it means.
Never knew.
FCFS, first come, first serve.
Annette's now have to say at the bottom...
NSC, no Sacagawea coins.
And then parentheses, not racially motivated. It's not like Annette has a problem with Sacagawea.
No.
Who, again, guided Louis and Clark down some rivers or creeks or whatever.
Yeah. Fountain of Youth, right?
But what do you do with the Sacagawea coin?
I mean, it's legal tender.
I understand. But how do you think you'd have felt if, Annette says, don't worry, I've got the big New Year's Eve tab tonight.
Pulls out a coin purse.
Either that or says...
the size of a Homer bucket.
Either that or says, Steve, you pay the check. And in my purse here, I've got the tip. And as you're signing your name and doing whatever, and you see her bust out her bag, Jingle Bells all style. And she's got about 40 Sacagaweas in there to leave
poor waiter or waitress
Yeah.
on this New Year's Eve, making that person rethink their life.
Yeah, so it causes a noticeable limp when they put all of them in their pocket at the same time.
They don't take them, right? Like, if a waiter walks up to a table and sees, on a standard bill, so not a New Year's Eve bill, but let's say they walk up to a $40 tab. So let's say there's 8 Sacagaweas on that table. Are they just then bussing the Sacagaweas with the dishes?
Yeah.
Because they're never going to use
maybe
those.
put that on the poll. Are you bussing the Sacagaweas with the dishes?
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
I can't wait to follow along.
I didn't even show you. You know all about different sheets in spreadsheets.
Absolutely.
I got a sheet 2 on there. 2025 truck stuff sales. That's completely separate. That's just stuff that I found out in the shop that I'm getting rid of. I actually got 2 people coming today.
This house is like a turnstile.
But now Annette told me that number, like anything I sell truck stuff that I just invest back into the truck, I can't include that
on the spreadsheet
as part of the other spreadsheet. I think that's fair.
For new neighbors around here, they must be positive that there is some type of drug muling operation happening, because you've got one guy showing up like screaming into a Ring doorbell about the year of a koozie. One guy loading hundreds of yards of vinyl fence into a Buick.
Good old Rick.
Items being left on porches that you'd be like, well, that's just a top half or the bottom half of a bird bath. Like, what are they actually doing over there?
Yeah. This is my life.
And I almost feel
this is how I live.
I almost feel like we need to get you a yard sign. You know, you hammer it in, wood sign, painted. We're not selling drugs, just It keeps the police off your back.
Exactly, yeah. I mean,
the neighbors are then curious, like, well, could I sell mine? You know, the same?
I think it's a good idea.
You turn a couple neighbors into Goviesmen.
Look, man.
Maybe you could turn a couple neighbors into men.
Let the ends justify the means. Like you saw the $54.
No, I'd like you to convert that. So when she looks at it, she has to always ask you, because she's like, Steve, that doesn't say dollars. It just says 1.25.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, that's 1.25 mystery boxes from the pallet liquidation center.
All right, so I'll send you that spreadsheet. Okay. You got to add in, again, the column for carrying costs, which, I mean, in most cases is going to be 0.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm thinking,
unless are we measuring the size of it and then dividing it by the square footage of my house, so then we know how much room it's taking up, because everything has a price.
Well, I'm thinking date acquired or date posted, date sold. I'd like to know, you know, how long they're being posted.
Well, it's really turning into a chore. I just want to know money.
You know, I'll send you my gambling spreadsheet. You just add your stuff onto it. Sure. Make it your own, you know?
Yeah. All right.
Again, if you want to be a part of the Steve and Kyle Podcast 2025 New Year's resolutions, please send us a DM, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Steve and Kyle, with your resolution that you would like us to possibly call you about. I don't want to say we are going to, because if we get, 5, 6, 8 people, we just don't have time in an episode.
Yeah.
You people are all way too interesting when we talk to you, and we have too many questions to get all that in one episode. But we'll keep in touch with you, check in with you a couple times throughout the year to hold you accountable and scream at you over the phone or scream at you just via the podcast to make sure you're doing your best. Please let us know. Yes. Again, at Steve and Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
All right. Yeah. Do that. Thank you
Thanks
so
to
much
Mitch
for everybody who sent some stuff.
Mitch, Adam, Kaczynski. Boy, someone else. Whoever sent the Eddie Fitz steel tin print.
That's a solid chip right there.
And to never forget our friend and generous donor, Billy Stacks. Thank you, as always, for listening. Another year of this mess about to somehow happen. I can't believe I'm still doing this.
Thanks, as always, to Lance for sending a 3D printer and giving us hours and hours of fun. Talk to you next week. See ya.